What's going on, my people? Today we are going to take a deep dive into the Socom Elite by Microtech. But first, please do me a favor. Check out DNKKnives.com, and if you purchase from DNK, you can use this coupon code behind the edge 10 to get 10% off and free shipping. They are an excellent company owned by a very good guy, very good to the community. They're adding new brands every day, or not every day, but a lot. They just added Olamic cutlery to what they got going on over there. And he's working to add more and more models and brands all the time. Yeah. Make sure you go check him out. Also, he has a YouTube channel too. I'm not sure how much he's posting anymore, but also check out his YouTube channel. This Socom is probably the 50th one I've had. I've had many over the years. This knife in one form or another has been around since the 90s. And that's not even an exaggeration. Since the mid-90s, 1990s. That's older than a lot of the people watching it. Actually, probably not, because nobody young watches my channel, according to my analytics. It is one of the very first high-end tactical folders that I can remember, especially with a pocket clip, and is very well built, reliable. It's an absolute tank of a knife, and comes in many different configurations and forms and colors. You can get it in the manual like this. You can get the automatic, push button automatic outside, or the older ones. Some of the older ones are double action where they're automatic and manual. You can get it in a Tanto. You can get it in this clip point / drop point / whatever the hell you want to call it. Serrated, not serrated. Even some hand ground options of different forms on some of the custom ones. We'll get into that a little bit later. You can get it in the stonewash. They have a apocalyptic finish, which is a heavy stonewash, kind of like working finish. They have DLC, like the Shadow. Then they have the black paint. I don't know what else I could call it, but it's not very. Microtech has a black paint that they used, kind of like older Benchmades that doesn't hold very well, but they look cool for a month. But anyway, lots of variations available. Some of the best ergonomics in history, in my opinion. This is one of the most comfortable knives I've ever held. In this grip, whatever you call that, and normal everyday use grip. You get just a very snug purchase, and this swoop up, helps keep it from your hands riding up the blade and piercing. Just fantastic, stellar ergonomics. This knife is very accessible as well, and it is available everywhere and all the time. There was a time there a few years ago where it was kind of hard to get. I guess they quit making it for a while and then they brought it back. But right now you can get this thing everywhere. It is also USA made, and for the price, it's hard to beat. It really is. For around $300 or just a shade over, you get an American-made knife that has been around forever. That is an absolute tank. And in my opinion, you just can't beat the price for an American-made. Also, they do Marfion Customs makes custom versions of this knife. Now, those are a little overpriced. Not a little. Those are extremely overpriced, but there is a crap ton of hand elements in that knife. The blades are typically hand ground. The handles are sometimes aluminum, sometimes titanium, sometimes carbon fiber. You can get some inlays that are like rattlesnake skin. I've seen what's that fucking fish? The ray skin. I've seen meteorite inlays, which I would love to have because I'm a space nerd as well. But lots of different options there, which I think is super cool. And also, the most important thing, in my opinion, is for a bruiser, for a large, quote unquote, hard use knife with very thick stock and very robust build, it actually cuts extremely well. This grind tapers very, very thin behind the edge for the size of the knife and for the thickness of the stock, which is about 3/16 of an inch. But it is very thin behind the edge for the size. It does not cut like a Svivi, but it absolutely cuts very, very well. The action is bananas. It is on bearings, so do remember that if you use it as a work knife, you'll have to clean it out every once in a while. The detent is absolutely perfect, and as far as I can remember, I don't think I've ever had one with a bad detent or a sloppy detent or a light detent. They've always been really crisp and really good. It is a liner lock, but it is what you would call a subliner lock. So the liner itself is titanium, but it's screwed to the frame from the inside here with these two stainless screws. So there is no liners is what I'm trying to get at. So there's no liners, it's just that. But this also has a lock bar insert. Now that's just on the newer ones over the past, I don't know, decade or so. The old ones don't have that as far as I'm aware. But it is titanium and it is with a lock bar insert, which is awesome. Lockup is always just fantastic and very, very sturdy. There is no wiggle left, right, up, and down whatsoever. Your thumb studs act as your stop, which is why you get no wiggle, no movement whatsoever. They tuck right into this notch, and it is extremely secure. Fit and finish is very good and very, very dialed in. This is, I think, the third generation of this knife. I tried to go back and look. It's at least the second, but I think it's the third generation of this knife. So they've worked out the kinks is what I'm trying to get at there. So it is absolutely dialed in. They've got it down. Now, it is aluminum. A lot of people don't like aluminum, don't like the feel of it. They equate aluminum to being cheap. Aluminum is not cheap. It may be monetarily cheap, but it is, if it's good enough to build fighter jets and aircraft out of it, then it should be good enough for you on a knife. Now, obviously, I would prefer titanium as well. Almost all my knives are titanium or G10, but I like the aluminum. It bothers me none whatsoever, and it is very strong. It's lighter than titanium. It's lighter than G10. Nothing wrong with aluminum in my opinion whatsoever. Now, the only reason I bought this particular one is because I got a screaming deal on it, or else I wouldn't have bought the teal, the turquoise, whatever you want to call it. I hate the color. Let me rephrase. I don't hate the color. I just hate it on a knife. So I may get this Cerakoted a different color. This particular one is an M390. If you buy one that's made in 2025, it's going to be M390 MK, which is their very pretentious tweak to M390. Bowler did it especially for them. As far as I can tell, it is no different whatsoever. And all the but they were made in many other different steels over the years, and And if you got a new one, it's going to be M390. But if you got one, let's say pre-2022, you're going to get LMAX, 204p, XHP. If you go back a little farther, S35VN. They do have them in Baker Forge Damascus, and what is that? That Vegas Forge Damascus. You can get, I've seen them in Damasteel. Now those are super rare, but and if you go back real far, you'll get S30V, 154cm, even ATS34, which is just another version of 154cm. So there is a lot of options of blade steel. So you don't have to be stuck with M390 if you don't want to. You can find one on the secondary. I believe, from what I remember, most of my older ones were LMAX or 204p. I think I had one in XHP a long time ago. That was the one I should have held on to right there. But the vast majority of them that were made were in LMAX or XHP. I believe, in my opinion. Now, if you haven't noticed, the big elephant in the room on this is the tip down carry pocket clip, which makes sense for this knife. And I know you know what I'm talking about. When you pull this knife from your pocket, it's ready to deploy. If you had to pull it from your pocket this way, you would have to move your hands to do that. Now, I know a lot of you don't care about that, but this knife was designed as a tactical knife, so quick response was thought of whenever this knife was designed. So if you don't like that, you can easily tap down here and move it. It's not hard. You can buy the kit at Lowe's to tap new screws down here, or you can find there's 100 different people out there that'll do it for you for next to nothing. Or you could maybe like the Sakasha, which is supposed to be a cross between a Socom and a Vexia from Custom Knife Factory. So it has the Truodon clip, the big obnoxious glass breaker, but it is tip up, same thumb studs, identical thumb studs basically, same pivot, same basic, not the same basic knife, but the same, attitude. It was designed by the same person. Now this one's M398. I'm going to do a video on steels that don't make sense on certain knives. Because in my opinion, this knife here was designed as a tactical knife as well. And M390 makes no flipping sense whatsoever on this knife. And just in general, I think I'm going to do a video, but I think I'm going to do it for members only, because I need to do something for members only. People that pay and support the channel, I might do that video for them specifically. So if you're interested in that, you can join the membership. It's dirt cheap. It's the same as the price of a cup of coffee basically. But M398 is man, I don't know if I like it. We'll get to that in another video. This knife, back to it, Socom is fantastic. It is 100% on par, in my opinion, with some of the knives that are in the Holy Trinity. You could take certain knives out and put other knives in the Holy Trinity, and you'd still be valid, but the Holy Trinity is Hinderer, Strider, and Chris Reeves. But this knife, in my opinion, is completely on par with any of those knives as far as quality, function, and just in general. It is up there with some of the best knives ever made. And I'm going to stand on that. That is my opinion, but I think it is a very valid opinion. Let me know in the comments if you have the Socom. How do you like it? I know it's been around for 30 plus 30, yeah, over 30 years. It's been around as long as M390 has. So if you've never had one, if you are new to knifing, you should look into it, because you can get you a really nice high-end knife for not really high-end prices anymore, because there is many hundreds of Chinese made knives that cost, yeah, like this one. This particular knife costs double what this one does. But even Wii's and Reackons and Bestechs, that cost way more than this knife. And they're not as good. They're just not. Yeah, they have titanium. Maybe they had some fancy carbon fiber. Some new flavor. That's not carbon fiber. That's carbo quartz crystal. Shut up. Whatever it is, it's not as good as this knife. That's my opinion. That's all I got on this one, guys. Let me know in the comments how you feel about this knife. Make sure you're good to each other, love each other, and remember, God, man, life is way too short to be retarded. Later.